Welcome back to our channel Active Catalysts. In this video, you will understand the important questions of DBMS from Module 2. The first question is explain different relational model constraints. So you have to take one example and explain for each of the constraints, or else you will not get complete marks. Then second one is explain entity. First of all, write what is entity. Entity is the thing in the real world which has independent existence. Okay, then the referential integrity constraint, why each of this is important. Like if this integrity constraint would not be there, then what would happen, that you have to explain. Then we have concepts of joins, equijoin and natural join. I hope you know natural join will give you all the details which is both related and unrelated data, and equijoin gives you only the required data. That should be explained well with an example for each. Fourth one, explain relational algebra operation for set theory with example. I hope you know what is this referred to as. Union, intersection, everything you have to explain. Okay, like we write it as, I think, T1 union T2. Elements in T1, okay, here it is intersection, elements in T1 but not in T2. Like that we write it, right? So this is again important one. Next one is SQL queries. SQL queries, for this I'll be providing another separate PDF for you to practice, where it includes all of the PYQ questions. Okay, then the data types in SQL and the commands, like we have different statements, right? Like DDL, DML. So for each one of them you should know which comments is applicable. You should be able to explain it. Next, types of update operation. So while doing update, there are different constraints which we come across. Every constraint should be explained. For each constraint with one example, only then you can get full marks. Then we have the mapping algorithm. So there are particular steps for converting relational to conceptual schema that should be explained well. Then characteristics of relation. This is asked for around 8 marks. So once you write the characteristics, make sure you're explaining it with 2 points for each. Ninth one, explain unary operators and binary operators. So you already know what are unary and binary operators. If you don't know, take a screenshot and then study. Then the join operations. So in join operations we have theta join, equijoin and natural join. All three are different. Please make sure the difference, you should know that difference properly, because that in the exam you might get confused. So study each example for each of the concept over here. Make it very clear. Then we have some derived operations. So in derived operations you need not study everything, but you should at least know like how the steps are being given. It is not yet asked, but they might ask this time. So for this you have to do the derivation part. If you have already studied discrete mathematics, this derivation is there in that subject as well. Okay, then division operator, if this is asked, it will be asked for around 8 marks. So why division operators is used, like what content you get after using division operator for the table content. Okay, that should be explained. Then we have simple definitions. You can study this, I'll leave it to you. Then we have 6 clauses with syntax you have to explain. With syntax means you have to give example also. Then we have aggregate functions. I hope you know why aggregate functions is used. In aggregate functions, like group by, order by and all, what you use, right? Know the difference. Why we use group and why we use order by. Because why I'm telling to study this in this module, or why you are getting 17 questions from this module, is if you really want to attempt the question of queries, then this is must. If you really want to solve or SQL queries from module 2, I hope you know that will be 10 marks sure question from this module. If you really want to get right answer, you should be strong with these concepts, the aggregate function, clauses, anomalies. I know these concepts are also there in the third module. So if you study it here, then third module will contain only few questions, very few. So let us go through the third module questions now. So explain cursor and the properties. You have one lab program related to cursor. You can write the same because you have already studied. Instead of putting extra efforts, you can do the same. Or if you have forgotten it, then you can go to the GPT and ask for the short code and study that. So see, once you write the code, also write the output. Okay. Yeah. Then comes normalization. You already know what normalization is. If not, then somewhere you can assure that if without studying normalization concept, module 3 is nothing to you. I mean, you cannot score good marks from the module 3. So it's better if you study normalization topic. In that we have 1 2 3 4 NF. Along with that we also have BCNF. I'll not tell the full forms, not because I'm not aware of it. NF is normalization factor, that's it. So they'll give in combination either 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together, or BCNF and 2NF together, like that they'll give you. So it's better if you study everything in a flow. Everything has its own flow. Don't like just go on and study with 4NF. No, if you know one, you can know two. It's just like you are climbing the steps. Then we have informal design guidelines for relational schema. Just after you understand normalization, you will understand this. The questions are designed in such a way that it should help you in building your concept in one right way. That one right thinking should be there, right? Or one right way of approaching. This is what is going to help you. All these questions are picked from the PYQs and arranged in such a way that if you know first question, you can jump to second one. Without that, it will be difficult. Like if you're going to skip any one particular question, it may affect the next answer for you. Okay. Then we have something called as functional dependency. Functional dependency is, we have actually algorithm. More than about functional dependency, they will give you the algorithm. They'll give one equation like this or something like a set kind of data. You have to reduce the functional dependency and give. Then we have types of update anomalies. You may have come across the anomalies concept in second module also. That's why I have told. If you study this, if you are giving 100% in module 1 and 2, then module 3, 4, 5 would be dead easy to you. Okay, then next question is illustrate, insert, delete, update and alter and drop command. If you are studying it in this module, then it would be easy. While explaining the constraints, you can write that. Okay. Then comes IR rules, that is inference rules. Again we have functional dependencies only. Just we are proving whether they are equal or not. Then DDL statements were asked in the PYQs, hence it is important. Okay. Then a view concept. For view also we had one lab program. You can write the same lab program only. Coming to the module 4. Module 4 where database transaction with diagram you have to explain. Draw the diagram first, later it will be easier for you to explain. Then we have assertion. So you have to write the code again for assertion and trigger. Okay, these both are separate questions. Like you have to take different example and explain. For trigger we also had a code. You can explain the same. Then system login database transaction. Okay, while logging in the transaction, how it happens, you have to explain it. Acid properties is just asked for 4 marks in PYQs. Okay, just write those 4 properties. Just learn 1 or 2 lines. Okay, then stored procedure language in SQL. See, it asks for 10 marks. If you don't know this, don't skip this question because I've come across in 3 to 4 papers. Okay, then nested queries. So I hope you know in nested queries, so let us assume that this is one block of nested query and this is another block of nested query. So if we have 2 blocks of nested queries, first this is going to get executed and later this is what you think. But in reality, for nested query it is true, but in correlated query it depends. Either this can get executed first or this can get executed first, depending on the SQL query, projection or selection that you are applying. Okay. Then we have conflicts in transaction. You already know, I hope so. Read write conflict, write read conflict, and read conflict. No, there will be no read conflict, write conflict. Okay, so this conflict you have to again explain with example. Then we have view serializability in schedule. That is again important. Okay, it is serializability is different, serializability is different. Both are there. Here it is serializability. Okay, serializability means one after the other in a series it is getting executed. Liability is different. You have to understand the view code. Then recoverable, cascadeless and strict schedules. While using the rollback we can use it. So I've written rollback, which is giving you the clue that this concept comes under the rollback concept. Okay, then you already know it in OS, deadlock and starvation problem. How does it occur and how to overcome that, how to resolve it. Then concurrency control and two-phase locking system is actually module 5 concept. Yeah, you can skip these two concepts. Then lost and temporary update problem. This is again important. You have to just write a few lines. You can consider this question for 4 marks and this for 6 marks. The timestamp, we have syntax for it. You have to explain with syntax. Coming to module 5 now. In module 5, the first one is what is NoSQL, and we have the fixed theorem, cap theorem. Expect that what you can expect from this is what are CRUD operations in MongoDB. Then we have something called as graph database. We have to explain it with respect to Neo4j. Okay, then again we have time stamp or the concurrency control. Okay, this is again related to 4th module. If you are strong there, these answers are nothing to you, just some extensions are there in this module. Okay, you have to give example for concurrency control also. Then we have two-phase locking protocol. If one is locked, then how another gets unlocked, how we can put some restrictions on the lock, like if one lock is applied to one particular transaction and if same thing needs to be accessed to second transaction, then how it can be accessed, whether it has the rights to do every operations or no. It will normally have right to only access the reading part. Okay, that is the normal one which we will use. Then comes wait die and wait und protocol. You have to just explain the protocol for it. Then multiple granularity locking or intentional locking. See, intentional means you know it, right? Yeah. Then comes categories. Categories are there, so you have to explain the categories. If you put some diagram, then that would be better. Then we have data models. This concept is there in first module also. If you study there, it is easy for you. Same thing is extended over here. Last question is again view and serializability conflict, which is again given here. You might find many questions, but most of the questions here are repeated. Repeated means here they have explained with respect to some A concept, means in module 5 they have explained with respect to B concept. Okay, so understand and study. For the module you can refer the notes that I am giving in description, and do not get stressed, just write down these questions and study. I am not giving the PDF of this is because I want you to put some efforts. At least the reading into your book, that should happen more than your own laptops or however you are finding the material and studying it. Try to write it, like at least once you should know what are the module questions available in the module. So wishing you guys all the very best.